A cut, shave, and fresh look with a tap of your phone. A wellness app that helps every employee get healthier. A better way to operate early childhood education centers. A sexy, all-natural panty that allows ladies comfort and confidence. A UV detection sticker that tells you how much sunscreen you need and when to reapply. A platform that helps you build digital products faster and cheaper using AI and the best programmers in the world. An artificial kidney that fits in the palm of your hand. And a revolution in milk quality testing.
These are last year's 43North winners. They haven't stopped hustling since they left this stage. And it's all happening here. Good evening and welcome. I'm Eric Reich, chairman of 43North. Tonight, we will welcome our 5th class of winners into the 43North family and the Buffalo community. I'm sorry. I'm excited to say that these companies will be joining a city on the rise. Over the last several years, Buffalo has invested more time, energy, and money in startups than we've seen in generations. Many generations. And I'm so proud that 43North has had a role in building that momentum. To give you an idea why I'm so passionate and engaged with 43North and Buffalo's startup scene, here is my story in 30 seconds. In 2001, I co-founded Campus Labs as part of a class project when I was a student at UB. Back then, there were no support services for aspiring entrepreneurs like me. No incubators, no ecosystem, no network, but I was equal parts resourceful and lucky. I annoyed Jordy Levy and Ron Schreiber enough that they agreed to help me. With their well-intentioned tough love, along with the tenacity of an amazing group of early colleagues at Campus Labs, we figured out how to become a real company over many long days and sleepless nights. Campus Labs now employs 200 people, and our data platform is used at almost 1,500 colleges and universities. While it's definitely thank you. While it's definitely a cool story, and I'm so proud that we made it, we need to increase the odds and help today's entrepreneurs and their companies be successful here in Buffalo. And that requires a combination of recruiting amazing emerging companies to Buffalo and helping businesses that are already here. I've often said that everyone has a role to play. Perhaps you're ready to become a founder yourself, or maybe you'll broaden your career by joining one of our emerging companies. Or you could serve as a gateway into your current workplace to assist a 43North company. The options are many, and we need everyone. So enjoy the show tonight, and I hope you leave inspired and thinking about joining our quest to make Buffalo a great place to start a company and an even better place to grow one. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
43North was joined by a new president, Alex Gress, Alex is a phenomenal leader, and I'm happy to welcome Alex to the stage today.
Thank you, Eric, and thanks for letting me join you on this journey. Last year, I was in the audience for the 43 North Finals. I sat right over there with my wife, Jennifer. As I watched this event unfold, I saw the passion and the excitement of world-class entrepreneurs competing for the opportunity to grow their companies in Buffalo. I saw the commitment and the capabilities of the 43 North team, the strength and caliber of the 43 North board, and the willingness of our mentors, judges, advisors, to give of themselves, all coming together to help create the next chapter of Buffalo's story. When I arrived that night, I was already inspired. When I left, I had conviction. Tonight, I'm honored to stand before you as the president of 43 North, and as someone who has found his way home. Because like many of my peers, I left Buffalo as a young man. My parents were convinced I would never return. But after growing my career elsewhere, getting married, having kids, I decided to come back. And I wanted to come back and contribute to Buffalo's resurgence. And I can say with certainty that we're all doing something very important tonight. Something that you all have a part to play in. Because 43 North's winners aren't just building Buffalo's next great companies. They're creating opportunities for our children, the next generation, to stay in Buffalo, grow their careers here, and be a part of the community's next era of greatness. We live in a city that was built by innovators who believed in themselves, who took big risks, and became pillars of this city's success. And I couldn't be more proud that we're reclaiming those bold entrepreneurial roots to drive Buffalo forward. Okay. Now with that, let's get this show going. Let's get you caught up to speed with how we got to this moment.
How did we get here? The 43 North team hit the road across the country talking to investors, incubators, accelerators, and past 43 North winners to drum up interest for a new crop of applicants. And when the time came in March to kick off the application period, we did so in a big way. In May, we received 485 submissions. We announced our 185 semifinalists in July, and 18 companies were named finalists in September. Then, during our qualifying round earlier today, we cut down to our top 10 finalists. And tonight, we'll determine our 8 winners. What have these companies been battling to win? A cut of $5 million in cash, including a $1 million grand prize, and 7 $500,000 awards. But the cash is only the start. 43 North winners also receive incubator space in the heart of the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus, mentorship from industry experts from Western New York and beyond, 10 years tax-free status through the Startup New York program, a shot at $500,000 in follow-on funding, and the opportunity to join a city on the rise. And we're not the only ones saying it. A recent study by LendingTree named Buffalo as number 2 on its list of cities with the youngest entrepreneurs. The Wall Street Journal said only knuckleheads and the unenlightened write Buffalo off as nothing more than a winter icebox in the birthplace of a certain sports bar delicacy. The Times of London called Buffalo America's coolest summer city, although the Amherst Bear probably would argue there were some pretty hot days this year. And the New York Times says Buffalo is making a big comeback. We couldn't agree more. Tonight, the biggest winner is you, Buffalo, because once again, it's happening here.
Okay, so I'd like to take a moment to recognize our judges, beginning with our round 1 and semifinals judges. So 43 North pairs our applicants with volunteer judges in their industries to ensure that each application gets the expert attention it deserves. Now, our judges are entrepreneurs, investors, physicians, lawyers, business leaders who collectively volunteer hundreds of hours each year, spending precious summer days, and we all know we had a hot summer, reviewing written applications or sitting in small conference rooms at 43 North to watch live video pitches. So I'd like a round one and semifinals judges to please stand up for a round of applause. Their names are up there as well. Thank you, judges. Now, earlier today, more than 24 venture capitalists, angel investors, ecosystem leaders, and entrepreneurs from across North America served as our qualifying judges. They trekked here from all corners of the continent. They were joined with Bill Maggio and Jordan Levy, our founding board members, who emceed the event, to help us narrow down 18 finalists to the top 10 that you're going to see tonight. So I'd like our qualifying judges, please give them a warm Buffalo round of applause. Okay. Now I'd like to introduce a man who's been a real leader of Buffalo's entrepreneurial movement. Someone who leads by example and tirelessly works for our community. He's the managing director of Lorraine Capital, a New York private equity firm, vice chairman of Kaleida Health, and the CEO of the Jacobs Institute. It is with great pleasure that I welcome to the stage one of 43 North's founding board members and our immediate past board chairman, Mr. Bill Maggio. Bill will introduce our finalist judges and guide us through tonight's pitches.
Thank you very much. Are we ready to go? Let me hear it. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Okay, Jordan Levy and I today took 18 amazing qualifying companies to their paces. And unfortunately, 8 of those companies didn't make it to tonight's finals. They're out in the audience. Let's give them a round of applause. They did an unbelievable job. Great job. Okay. I don't use teleprompts, as you can tell. They're harmful. It's great to be here with all of you for what is sure to be another great 43 North Finals event. Let me first thank both Alex Gress, our new president, and Eric Reich for their leadership this past year. I know I speak for Jordan Levy and the entire board as well when I say that we're very proud of all that the team has accomplished thus far. Please join me in giving them a round of applause. Nice job. You know, I often ask myself this question. What's at the heart of our great city's renaissance? But more importantly, what will sustain that renaissance? Something I've stressed as founding board member and past chairman of 43 North, it's called community collaboration. Many organizations, institutions, and individuals are playing a part in Buffalo's entrepreneurial rebirth. And I assure you, 43 North is committed to being a strong, collaborative partner throughout our entrepreneurial ecosystem. And each and every one of you is playing a role just by being here this evening. It says something about your passion for supporting entrepreneurship that we sold out all 3,000 seats in this incredible performing arts center. Give yourselves a round of applause. Now, as you can imagine, it's a great pleasure for me, an honor really, to facilitate this evening's finals. With the caliber of finalists you'll see tonight and the judges, we're all in for a real treat. Each year, we bring in some of the greatest minds in entrepreneurship to serve as our finals judges. And I'm happy to say that many of our past judges, from people like Gary Vanderchuk, to Melissa Bradley, to David Jakubowski, have remained engaged with 43 North as mentors and investors, but more importantly, while becoming national advocates and evangelists for our great community. I'm certain this year's judges will be no different. We are incredibly proud of this accomplished group. So let's meet them. But before we do, I have one favor. Let's give them a great Buffalo welcome. Can we do that? Thank you. Okay, he is known as a startup whisperer. I have no idea what that means. And he has worked at the highest levels for some of the world's most recognized brands for over 30 years. He is the co-founder of MapQuest, which sold to AOL for $1.2 billion, and then was with Rand McNally and Accenture. He currently serves as one of 2 managing directors of the Startup Factory, the largest seed investment firm in the entire Southeast, and as an entrepreneur in residence at Techstars. Please welcome my good friend, Chris Hively. Our next judge leverages her background as a doctoral-level cell biologist and strategy consultant, and an operational leader in her role as global head of new technology scouting and strategic finance activities at BioMeur. Prior to her role at BioMeur, she led operations as life science practice director at EY Parthenon. She also manages the research and publication of the book Personalized Precision Medicine. Please welcome Mahala Byrne to the stage. This young man, next joined Amazon in 2013. He is the co-founder and head of business at Amazon Launchpad. Amazon Launchpad focuses on assisting startups through their retail journey. Prior to joining Amazon, he was VP of Sales and Operations at the startup Bellycard, where he helped raise over $40 million in funding and expanded the company from 40 to over 250 employees. He has also worked at eBay, Bain Consulting, and the JP Morgan investment banking practices. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ashish Tripathi. Our next judge is a managing partner at GSV Accelera TE, a venture capital fund investing in exceptional entrepreneurs and their companies in the education and talent technology sector. She is also the co-founder and managing partner of ASU GSV Summit, which attracts over 4,000 attendees to celebrate innovation across the global pre-K to grade learning and talent landscape. Please welcome Deborah Quazzo. This next one is a fun one for Jordy and I. He spent his 35-year tech career with Apple, Sony, Lotus Development, Shiva Corporation, MCK Communications, Lazarus Technology Partners, Prism Venture Works, and now Launch Capital. What the hell, man? He has been named Mass Telecom CEO of the Year and a top 50 VC by Always On Media. He has been involved with several IPOs, relax, I'm almost done, including as CEO of MCK Communications and as the first investor and a board member of LogMeIn. He is an executive in residence at Bentley University, and he hosts a weekly Bloomberg radio show. Ladies and gentlemen, Woody Benson. Our next judge currently serves as an advisor for Morgan Stanley Multicultural Innovations Lab and is a founding partner of 3C Partners, an advisory of consulting business that works with venture capital and startup companies and marketing, brand, and business growth strategy. She began her career at UBS and has held positions with Brightwood Capital, L'Oreal, Pop Sugar, and Condé Nast, where she helped drive company-wide transformation across Condé Nast Travel, W Magazine, Vogue, GQ, Vanity Fair. She is the youngest advisory board member of All In Together, a great non-for-profit that supports women in civic engagement. Please welcome Rochelle Stewart. Thank you. And last but not least, he is the founder of AIE Creative, a company recently created to provide immersive experiences to highly created selection of brands looking for unique ways to connect with diverse customers. He was previously Apple's Chief Marketing Officer, and prior to that, he was the Vice President of Global Marketing for Nike Basketball. Please welcome Arturo Nunez. As you can see, this is a very esteemed group of judges, and they picked out my shirt for me today. All right, so here's how it's going to work. You will see 10 companies on the stage tonight. They will each pitch for 2 minutes, and they will field 4 minutes of questions from our judges. And one last thing before we get started, I should mention that our judges have already had several opportunities to learn about our finalists. In addition to receiving extensive background information about each company, these judges were in the audience to see each of these finalists give a longer pitch earlier today. We're ready to get going? Come on now. Okay. This young lady is amazing. From Waterloo, Ontario, her company is MagnusMode. Please welcome Nadia Hamilton to the stage. You ready to go? Yeah, shake my hand.
Ready to go?
Good luck.
Hello, Buffalo. Woo! Hello, judges.
Hello.
Okay, so how many people know that feeling that you get when you're unsure of your next step? Imagine feeling that for everything that you had to do today, like brushing teeth. That's the experience of my brother, Troy. Troy has autism, and growing up, I created step-by-step guides to help him to do things like getting dressed. As an adult, he still needs this support for every task, every day. There are 200 million people with autism and special needs worldwide, 44 million in North America, and 22,000 right here in Buffalo. These are your neighbors. It's time to band together and create a welcoming world where people with cognitive special needs live with independence and inclusion. We're building that. We leverage the power of corporations to connect, engage, and enable people with special needs like never before. We do this through our app, Magnus Cards. It's digital step-by-step guides for independent living that are paid for by companies like CIBC and Colgate and A&W. We have over 30 corporate customers, just under 10,000 users, and we're in 70 countries worldwide with our user base. And we want to bring, thank you, and we want to bring this momentum to Buffalo. Can you imagine if we can transform the museums and the theaters and the movie theaters and every institution in Buffalo to be more accessible? We want to build our team, build momentum, and bring a legacy of inclusion, independence, and freedom to Buffalo. Thank you very much.
Ready? Need that. Okay, who's going to start us off?
I want to know, what's your dream partner list for this?
Oh,
You've already had success. We want to hear more. What's your next steps?
Next steps, honestly, would be to grow with our existing customer base as well as attract new large corporate brands like Nike or like, think about it. Athletics, teaching people how to be healthy and live healthy, active lifestyles. There's brands out, like every single airport, want to be in every single airport, every museum, every library, and the corporate brands, in terms of the big ones, there's over 10,000 in North America. Our next step would be to replicate our proven business model and grow globally.
Go ahead.
So
Sounds great.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go.
Sounds great. Why should corporates care? Besides the heart that's into this, why should they really care?
Good question.
Well, our corporate customers are paying because positive PR, employee engagement, there are mandates, accessibility mandates like the AODA in Canada and the ADA, the American Disabilities Act in America, which are becoming more stringently followed and implemented. And also, it's the right thing to do. So corporations are getting on board because they recognize that it's actually more expensive to deal with a tweet from a parent that says your airline is not accessible.
Because corporates always do what they should do. They're always interested in helping anything but the bottom line.
Well,
I'm sarcastic.
yes, but also they want access to this underserved market. It's massive. And they recognize that in order to access this market, they've got to help them first. They've got to help the caregivers gain brand equity with them, who love the brands and choose the brands when they see them helping their loved ones.
Mr. Nunez, you had a question.
You mentioned Colgate in your spiel as a partner.
Yeah.
Can you talk me through a little bit about how they've engaged with your company?
Sure, they actually just texted me a couple minutes ago. They're like, good luck from your friends at Colgate. Okay, so step one, we created their card decks for them. So oral care card decks on brushing teeth or going to the dentist or flossing or managing braces. Step two, they took it to a whole new level in marketing. So they created a video that featured our company, which got over 500,000 views and shares on YouTube. They created a campaign which featured actress Holly Robinson Peete, she's from 21 Jump Street, and she has a child with autism, and she got 4.3 million impressions on her tweet. All in all, our collaborative marketing plan reached 90.7 million people. So they're spreading the news because they want people to see them doing the right thing, and fulfilling their brand promise, which is everyone deserves a future they can smile about, which needs to include people with special needs.
Question.
Good.
And they put us in Times Square, New York.
So, keep it going.
In what ways, can you talk about the technology a bit? In what ways is it an accelerator for your business model? And in what ways is it an impediment as you think about that trifecta of the corporation, the organization, and the user?
Good question.
Yeah, okay. So I think that the technology is one piece. I think it's one product, and one product does not a business make. And I think that we have an opportunity to position ourselves as the accessibility leader to these corporations. So we're already getting questions from our corporations. So can you offer accessibility training to our employees? Can you build a training video that goes out to our frontline staff? Literally, they trust us to be the connector between them and this market.
One more time. Deborah, please go ahead.
Talk a little about your consumer. I just would love to hear how you're making sure you're penetrating the autistic community at the deepest, most profound levels, and how you guys are measuring that and following it and ensuring that that's really happening.
Sure. So we partner with special needs organizations like Autism Canada, Autism Speaks, Autism Ontario. These are direct to our user. They do marketing campaigns, and they use our tool in their programs to train people, transit training, laundry training, grocery training. So that's a direct-to-user, method. But also our corporations are doing broad-based marketing that reaches everyone. And as we know, everyone knows somebody who has special needs. So word of mouth is a powerful tool to get the word out to our users.
Let's stop it there. Great job. Good job. Thank you so much. Great presentation. That young lady was in high school 7 years ago. Just absolutely amazing. Congratulations. Okay, next up, from Gainesville, Florida, the company is Immerse Games. Please welcome Lindsay Troff to the stage. I gotta tell the full story. All right, so before we get started, every once in a while we ask questions of the contestants about, what they think about moving to Buffalo. And her response back to me was, it would be nice to not have to wake up and worry about an alligator being in her pool. So I told her she doesn't have to worry about that here in Buffalo. So good luck.
Thank you. Hello, Buffalo. Currently, only 22% of graduating high school seniors are proficient in science. Our product, already skipped ahead too far on this. Our product, Title Online, empowers students to learn science through hands-on problem solving, and we use a video game to do it. So let me show you what that looks like. A student enters the game world here and does activities linked directly to science standards. For example, here she's collecting evidence to determine if this is an invasive species, engaging in an authentic problem, even building out an argument to convince the scientists to transplant it out and save the ecosystem. They also do things like building ecosystems from scratch to learn ecology, or breeding dragons to learn about genetics. Teachers have a dashboard so they can assign content as well as receive assessment data. The market is ready for this right now because of the adoption of a new set of standards, the next generation science standards, that represent a huge paradigm shift, much like Common Core was for math and reading, and mean teachers are bringing on new materials. First, we took a small portion of our gameplay as a test and launched that on its own and have that purchased by over 25,000 users. Since then, we've been focused on developing out the full product with grant support from both the National Science Foundation and the Department of Education. And now we're excited to announce that we recently launched our first semester to schools. Our business model for schools is simple, at just $10 per student per school year. We're excited about Buffalo, first because this is the region we've already been targeting. We want to work with Buffalo's diverse population to ensure that our product meets the needs of all students. Buffalo has great talent as we expand our staff from programming to support. We've already met with Buffalo Public Schools and offered our product free to all the local middle schools. Thank you. So as we close up here, we built Title Online to be an expandable platform. Right now, we're building our own content, but in the future, we're going to allow others to add to so we can reach our long-term goal of becoming a single video game platform where you can learn absolutely anything. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you. Okay, who's going to kick us off here? Ashish, please.
What are the metrics you're looking at to see if this actually works?
Yeah, well, with the NSF study, we had a pilot so far, and so for that, we did a separate pre-post test. And from 1 2-hour gameplay, we actually had a 12% increase, and that was actually a test on science and engineering skills like data analysis, which is what the NGSS, the new science standards, are really about, learning much deeper and not just about content.
Deborah.
So you talk a little bit about, obviously it's a tough market to sell into, the K-12 school system. There are not many game companies that have been successful doing it, if any. What's going to make you guys different, break out, achieve real scale, and importantly, make impact on kids?
Absolutely. The first thing is that when we looked at the market, and at first I did this just as an educator, we saw that it was very fragmented and difficult for teachers to piece together. And longer form games like ours, where you have problem solving, have the better efficacy data, as we know. But right now, there's not much like that that can really be used in the classroom. Teachers can use that tool to assign a quest for 10 or 15 minutes and get assessment data. And so we made this much simpler for teachers to use within their classrooms. And we can build content a lot faster with a content authoring tool and a bunch of other things as well.
Great question. Woody.
Yo, Bill Maggio.
Come on, Woody, let's go.
Well, she took half my question.
Come on, Woody.
I don't get all the pain of dealing with school systems, administrators, superintendents. Why not go just direct to the consumer here? And I guess you sort of kind of answered that. So I'll ask this question. You kind of talk about a big marketplace, for content. I love that, and I love the assessment. And what about like licensing this through like a Khan Academy and a Coursera, the people that actually have the consumers? Because big need here. Like, you're too nice a person to deal with school systems.
I'm going to hire a salesperson to do that for me.
Unless in Gainesville, they're different.
Okay, I think there's like 3 questions in there. So the first one for consumers. In the long run, yes, I would like to go to consumers as well. They devour content though, so that's later when we go into a platform. We want to have massive users and go freemium at that point, but we need a lot more content.
Skip freemium, but why not just start the marketplace and reward your creators now? Because I bet your teachers will do that.
We need to prove that it works and build up the technology.
You just tested it, 25,000 people.
That was a small portion of our gameplay, not the platform itself in terms of our content creation tools. So we want to approach that in a way that we can have the users.
Why not go to one school system and give it away for gratis across the entire system, and that will get you all the usage you need?
And it's already on Steam. You can leverage Steam, right? It's the coolest platform for video game distribution, if any of you else are gamers like I am.
Quite frankly, I would love to give it away for free right now. We're trying to prove people will pay for it, and I would need to, raise like 10 million right now off the bat to kind of support that growth if I can't prove people will pay for it right now. So I don't know if there was a question we've skipped that you still want me to answer.
Aren't you confusing what you're testing? You want to test the concept and usage. What it'll pay for it is a secondary thing?
No, we still need revenue streams.
What's the tip of the arrow here?
Yeah, I mean, the plan for the platform is that we'll get a revenue stream of that 30 to 50% cut from people who are selling their content, much like any app store, on our platform. So if no one will pay for it, nobody's going to come onto our platform. And we'll be able to have users first, which will solve a lot of the marketplace issues if we develop a good marketplace of users before we reach that group as well. I feel like you have like 3 more questions somewhere in there, but let me know if there's one you still want answered.
Welcome to the last 24 hours of our life.
Yeah, Chris, go ahead.
Precise. That's a compliment.
We're Buffalo.
Is it?
Yes.
You're from Gainesville.
Yes.
Convince me.
I won't have to lose 2 weeks of development every year fleeing the state from a hurricane.
Got a point.
But what jobs are you going to bring here?
10 seconds. Wow. Sorry, you got something? No? We're good? No. Any other questions? Great job.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is our next contestant ready? Okay. Number 3 from Vancouver. The company is Routific. Please welcome Mike Allen to the stage. Mike.
Thank you. Thanks again. Good to see you once again. Hello, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming. So my name is Mike Allen. I am president of Routific, and we make supply chains seamless. Why is that important? Well, retail stores are closing at a rapid rate. We're seeing a trend and shift in the market that is really compelling, and that is because the new competitive advantage is supply chain efficiency. The problem is traditional supply chains are broken. Breaks in the links between partners create higher costs and higher friction, which makes those supply chains less competitive with e-commerce models. Amazon's found a way around this by doing an end run to the consumers, increasing efficiency and setting the bar almost impossibly high for everybody else in the industry. That one's for you, Ashish. E-commerce is only 7% of the market, so we still have to deal with the other 93%, and that's where we come in. We repair those broken links in old school traditional supply chains, decreasing costs and increasing efficiency, making them more competitive. Our end-to-end order system manages every aspect of the order life cycle from beginning to end, driving down costs along the way. And our IoT-based vehicle tracking platform handles route optimization, cold chain compliance, fleet management, again, driving costs down. So our software plus our hardware plus our managed service and support can actually be had for the price of a daily latte. So pretty compelling offering. We've done nearly $240 million through the system in the last year, saved our customers 37% on average, and saved some driving distance, fuel consumption, carbon emissions, and paper in the meantime. So we've actually doubled our revenue and our headcount year over year, roughly, and we see that trend continuing. We think that's all great news for ourselves in the Buffalo market, the contribution we can make. And speaking of Buffalo, we're smack dab in the middle of a $700 billion supply chain software market, right exactly where we want to be, stone's throw from an enormous amount of customers. Our team is ready and willing, our bags are packed, and we're ready to go. We have the team, we have the traction, and we have the technology, and all we need is for you to say yes. Thank you.
You guys are good.
3 seconds.
That's impressive. All right. Okay, who's kicking it off?
I guess probably I should. I guess my question would just be is, and this is not to promote Amazon, but with FBA, we do all of that and we drive customers. So why is your solution better?
Yeah, we're predominantly working with large manufacturers who still have those dedicated retail chains. So we're not going to consumer. That's not our model. We're still trying to drive product through the retail store. Amazon, for example, the purchase of Whole Foods show that there's still a market for that traditional retail experience, especially in food service. So we're really trying to help those customers still have that option to go through the different suppliers that they go through now and give those consumers that level of choice.
So what companies would the audience recognize, would we recognize?
So Nestle's our largest customer. We also work with other dairy companies like Parmalat, Aggie Pure, Arctic Glacier. We can deliver anything essentially through our system, but the value proposition is more compelling when the product is perishable. So another sort of point of difference, right? When the product can be destroyed or damaged in transit and someone has to be held accountable, the value proposition goes up.
I see.
Yeah.
Troy, you have a question?
Yeah, it feels like it's a crowded space. What would you say your USP is? Like, what's your unique selling proposition?
It's absolutely not myself and our developers. It's my partner, Scott. We always say our software was born in a warehouse and raised in a truck. We had, Coca-Cola, Nestle, and Parmalat looking over our shoulders from almost the day we started this thing. We built it for ourselves, and they were the ones that sort of pushed us to bring it to market. So our unique proposition is the fact that it is tailor-made for this industry and this industry only. We're not a courier solution. We're not a direct competitor to sort of general freight and brokerage and that kind of thing. We really fit a specific niche.
Thank you.
Deb.
When you think about the future and exiting this investment for making bazillions for 43North, do you think about it as a public company, or do you think it as a company that becomes acquired by a larger player?
Yeah, and IPO is a possibility. There's also the possibility on the software side. We integrate nicely with a couple of the larger players in the space. There's companies like SAP in there. We certainly think it's a possibility to get at least partially or fully taken out by one of our customers. We're starting to go global with some of our bigger customers. They haven't asked for that yet, but we feel like that will come at some point. If we help control enough of their market, they may come calling. So there's different possible exits for us. But the manufacturing side, we feel like is a pretty strong possibility given where we're at right now.
Chris, you got a question. You got a question or no?
Yeah, I mean, as the map guy, and you have route or route in your name, tell me about that IP and how unique is it in terms of getting the efficiencies you get, and how much can be replicated when Amazon decides to
take it
ship all your customers.
Yeah, so all of our algorithms, that's a hard word to say, are proprietary. We've got a bunch of different partners that have worked on it with us, but we have that capacity in-house as well. So we actually have an astrophysicist on our team that's been doing big data, stellar spectroscopy, and all, a lot of math experts. But our windows are different than the typical. So we've got, a Walmart that has to be delivered between this time. We've got a school that has to be delivered between this time. We've got static routes and dynamic routes. We've got different products with different cold chain requirements. So ice cream, lettuce on the same truck. We're much more sort of geared towards servicing that niche than that general market, and I think we do it very well based on our traction.
Is your IP protected at all?
We've done patent searches, but we haven't done patent filings. The vehicle brain is new, so the hardware is new. The software's been in market since literally the day we opened. When we did the searches, the lawyers came back and said, like, the hybrid hardware-software configuration is actually probably a stronger case, and it's expensive, so we just thought we'd wait.
Okay, we're going to have to end it there. Nice job.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, really appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome. I'm sure that's exactly what they did.
Are we ready? Okay, our fourth competitor is from Silicon Valley. Her company is TouchedIt. Please join me in welcoming Helen Thomas. Best of luck.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Helen Thomas. TouchedIt is going to transform how people interact digitally in conference rooms and classrooms around the world. We're here in Buffalo because we can grow faster, bigger, with our strategic partner. Stampede is a global distributor, and they've been in Buffalo for 20 years. The CEO of Stampede said, TouchedIt is revolutionizing how people interact with technology and with each other. Here, we're going to take it to the next level. We are a post-revenue company. We have millions of dollars in revenue and thousands of users around the world. And some of them are here in Buffalo. We have hardware, software, a SaaS business model. We're coming to the market at the right time, looking at $7.5 million revenue next year. Wave transforms any flat screen television into a giant tablet. Pond is a touchscreen projector. Bird is our next revolutionary product. I can't wait to bring it to market next year. TouchedIt Present is our cloud service and sitting on top of all hardware, and it's recurring revenue and SaaS business. We have corporate customers. We have education customers. We're an award-winning company, and we have intellectual property. This is a team very committed. We're moving here to grow our business to $50 million in 3 years. We're here because Buffalo is for TouchedIt, for us to grow. We're going to bring jobs here. We're looking at hiring 10 to 15 people next year. They were going to stay, and we're going to expand. TouchedIt is the future of interactivity. We bring people together. So together, let's make it happen in Buffalo. Thank you. And Michael Sibley is a hire from Penn State last year. And I want you to look at him and understand we're going to hire many of Michael Sibley in Buffalo.
Very good.
Thanks, Vanna.
Okay, who's kicking it off? Woody, let's get started.
Helen, what's up? I got a question for you. Unified collaboration platform. What means that? Like, how do you relate to Zoom? 750 Zoom rooms out there. You don't talk about Zoom, WebEx, GoToMeeting, JoinMe. This is a separate thing from that? Are they friend or foe? If they're foe, what do you do about it? If you're friend, why aren't you talking about it?
The good news is we're friends, and I already know Eric. We don't compete on...
You're personal friends.
We're partners.
And you don't talk about that?
She is now.
I only had 2 minutes.
All right.
Let's keep it moving.
That's the hardest part.
You put up your IP numbers.
So we have tremendous intellectual property in touchscreen technology. We're the most affordable.
Okay, that's not what I asked. What I asked is in unified collaboration platforms,
correct,
like Zoom rooms, like GoToMeeting, how do you interact and what are the use cases with that?
We integrate with them while they deal with video conferencing. We provide digital content annotation, and in-person interactivity.
Okay, but they also allow, annotating and editing through platforms. So my question is, when you say you integrate with them, how do you integrate with them? Is that through an API, a connection? Is it yours? It's theirs? Or you just describe, how you interact with all the Zoom rooms?
Yeah, great question. So we integrate with them with our API so that our cloud would record content, not the voice yet. We are hardware that can be in every conference rooms at hundreds of dollars and bring Zoom into the room, as well as with touch interactivity. So we bring Zoom live with people in the same room, as well as across the globe.
All right, sorry, just a follow-up question. When you say you integrate, do you need to have Zoom to run this? I would assume the answer is no. Then what do you do about voice?
We integrate with Zoom, Skype, whatever voice you're comfortable with. And that's a short answer to your question.
Okay, next question.
So as a business customer and enterprise customer, what is the entry point? Like, what do you need to have to say this is a success? We've nailed it by selling just the hardware, everything, the full package. I would just love to hear pick a customer or just explain for us like the many facets of the business and how you're generating revenue and which, cross-ranking them, how important they are to
I'm not going to name names.
Okay.
So customers with thousands of conference rooms are looking for a simple solution so people can come in within seconds or minutes, they can share content. And they want the interactivity because from 2-year-old to 70-year-old, we're used to touch. However, those solutions in today's world is $20,000 solution or $10,000 solution. We provide a solution that can be unified because it's affordable, and it can be thousands and hundreds and thousands and millions of rooms instantly.
Got it. And where are you most challenged? Like, where do you get the pushback to say, no, we don't need this, or we don't want to invest here? Where do you hear the pushback from potential clients?
We don't have pushback from clients. They're waiting, and they want us to grow faster. They want the system to be upgraded, to be integrated with Linux, for example. So I think our challenge is really to raise enough capital and grow faster and support them more closely.
Chris, Ively. I've heard about Stampede. What happens after Stampede? Feels like a lot of eggs in one basket.
10 seconds or less.
Stampede, Incremental, D&H, we're working with Best Buy already. We're on Amazon. Stampede is specialized in presentation products. It's a great fit. And I think we're just going to go bigger from here.
Have to stop it there. Great job, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's insane. You look good standing up there, though. I like your haircut.
Just call him Vanna.
Woody, you're like the Simon Cowell of the startup business.
Yeah, he is.
Woody, you got any questions for me?
Yeah. The jacket. He wants to know about the jacket.
Shirt?
The shirt and the smoke is not a good combination, I've decided.
It's pretty groovy.
Neither's the jacket.
Yeah, I
Let's
get
not
it.
even talk about the left of the pants.
All right. Still got a long way to go here. Okay. Is this fun or what? You guys having fun out here? All right, good. Thank you. All right. Our fifth competitor is from Buffalo, New York. Her company is LegWorks. Please welcome to the stage Emily Lutyens and Brandon Burke. You come down here. Good luck. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Emily, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of LegWorks.
And I'm Brandon, co-founder and chief product officer. Thank you for having us. At the age of 16, I was faced with a struggle that many of you know. I was diagnosed with cancer and given a 20% chance to live. I'm lucky that I survived, but I lost my leg, and with it, the active lifestyle that I loved. Cancer is a hard problem to solve. Walking again shouldn't be.
The reality is that 90% of amputees in the developing world get access to no prosthetic device. And even here, for your average US patient, Their insurance does not qualify them for a $50,000 device.
At LegWorks, we've developed a collection of patented prosthetic knees with FDA, CE mark, and clinical data. I've been wearing our product now for 5 years, and I'm able to live the active lifestyle that I had before my amputation.
We've served 1,300 amputees walking in 30 countries, and we've built sales systems to serve 180 customers. In January, we moved our company from San Francisco to Buffalo before we knew about this competition, because our business makes sense here in Buffalo. Our R&D team is 2 hours away in Toronto, and with access to Buffalo talent, we've been able to build up our team, and next year we plan to grow to 9 Buffalo jobs.
Longer term, we plan to launch additional products and work with local manufacturing partners. We project to break even next year and grow to serve 50,000 patients in 5 years. As for our amazing team, we have myself as the industry expert, Emily is our MBA in international development background, and our CTO holds numerous patents. Our sales, marketing, and clinical team have a combined 40 years experience. We are LegWorks. We don't help people walk again. We help them live again. Thank you.
Nicely done. Turo, we'll start with you. Hold on.
I was listening before and I saw your price points, and I was concerned about emerging markets. Even at $200 to $500, pretty pricey for a lot of those marketplaces. How do you hope to address that, and talk a little bit about your blended pricing model?
It's a great question. So in the developing world, it's not actually the patient that is paying. And so when we're selling generally to a humanitarian aid provider. So for low-income countries, about 60% of our volume is going through NGOs, and the rest are going through governments and distributors. Middle-income countries, there is some ability to pay, and so that's why it stretches up to $500. Overall, we believe that everybody deserves access to a high-quality prosthetic device, and that's why we're just tiering to make sure we can reach underserved patients.
Thank you.
Mahalia.
Earlier, you spoke a little bit about how there are particular manufacturing capabilities in this area. For our Buffalo audience, could you speak a little bit more about how you're going to leverage the talent here and capabilities around the area?
Yeah, so our manufacturing is largely with suppliers that do traditional manufacturing operations like CNC milling and injection molding, which there is industry for that here in Buffalo. So as we grow our products, we'll be looking to partner with them all the way from the design stage and up into production development and ultimately into mass manufacturing.
Excellent.
Next. Woody.
This is awesome. Great. Emily, is that a Buffalo accent, or? I've only been here once. I'm just checking. My question is like, look, this is awesome. It's great. Hats off to you. My question is, what kind of company do you want to be? Like, what's the goal of your enterprise?
So our intent is definitely to enable people to get the same opportunity that I was afforded.
Maybe like more of the commercial sense.
Sure. And we do that through developing additional prosthetic knee components and expanding to offer a complete leg solution. Our product is better than the solutions available in the US, and we will continue to make that happen with the rest of our products that we roll out. And so we'll be able to expand to a large company that has a large product line.
Yeah, we're called LegWorks, not KneeWorks.
No, I get that. I guess where I was going is,
a full thing.
There's lots of capital available to you that's not venture capital. Venture capital comes from venture capitalists, and they got great, expectations.
Who talk like that?
You have like such a grandiose, wonderful world mission. I think there's lots of other forms of capital, and I'd urge you to do that. And I think this is great and wonderful for Buffalo, no matter where Toronto is.
Great point, Deborah.
And there are billion-dollar companies.
And that was a little bit of an
space.
extension of Woody's question. Is that you guys are an impact company, an important impact company. Impact means that you affect as many humans as you possibly can. I heard you talk about the break even next year. Are you in any way, in driving to break even that soon, which is very soon for an early company, are you constraining growth, and should you really think about taking on more capital, not driving to break even next year, and affecting more people?
Are we constraining growth?
Yeah, because are you not able to invest enough in marketing and distribution and sales, and I mean, because Making money can sometimes constrain growth, so I'm just curious how you guys think about it.
I feel like we've actually had the opposite issue because we have been in market for 3 years, and especially like coming from Silicon Valley where this is like not fast enough. You know, they want the immediate wonderful hockey stick. I actually think that it's the opposite for us. We're really excited to be here, we're excited to grow here and actually just hit that break-even point.
Time for one more. Who's going to take it?
Are you worried about 3D printing initiatives as a competitive?
Yeah, so 3D printing is a great technology. Its application is more for the custom part, which connects to the individual. We mass manufacture our prosthetic knee, and so 3D printing isn't really applicable for something like this where there's so many moving parts and the tolerances are so tight.
We do use 3D printing for our prototyping though.
Great job. Congratulations. Fascinating. Okay, we're now going to give our judges, except Woody, a little break, and I'd like to say a quick word about the 43North staff and ask them to come onto the stage if they would, please. Let's go. Don't be bashful. Alex Gress and Eric Reich have done a wonderful job leading this incredible team through recruiting, judging this year's applicants, monitoring our winners, telling the stories of our ecosystem, and producing programming for our community, like tonight's finals. I'm very, very proud, as I know our entire board is, to call ourselves your partners. Let's give them a round of applause for a job well done. Okay, thank you. You can leave now. No, they know I'm just joking. They don't pay attention to me anyways. All right, now I'd like to welcome one of our staff members, 43North Vice President of Programming and Community Strategy, Colleen Heidinger, to talk about our Ignite Buffalo initiative. Colleen, where are you? You ready to go?
Ready to go.
Okay, good luck.
Extra mic.
Thank you.
Facebook and Melissa Bradley of Project 500 were two of our finalist judges that sat right there a year ago. They left Buffalo wanting to do more. I received a call this past January from my friend Bill on a cold Friday night that I'm sure you all remember because that weekend the Bills played in their first playoff game in over 2 decades.
Sorry about that.
Bill tasked me and my colleague Nate with creating a presentation for Facebook executives to explain why our Queen City deserves to be the first city in the world to launch their new small business and mentorship program. Needless to say, I didn't watch the game, and my spring was turned upside down, creating Buffalo's newest initiative, Ignite Buffalo. We officially launched in the spring and gave away $1 million to 27 small businesses that are in the first few rows of the balcony. The grants were just the beginning. Facebook has funded a year of programming designed and produced by 43North for our small business community, covering a wide variety of business topics relevant to those already established entrepreneurs and those that are just starting to think about it. Visit ignitebuffalo.org for all the details on our free and very well catered educational programming. Tonight, I'd like to share the story of just one of our winners, Itina Fareed Cook. According to the numbers and the situation she was born into, Itina shouldn't be alive. She and 2 siblings were born to a mother addicted to drugs who passed at the age of 24 from a drug overdose. Her father was non-existent in her life until she was 18. She was raised on Buffalo's east side and left depressed, lacking self-worth, and incredibly low self-esteem. It is through the discovery of her passion for art, and particularly that of photography, that she saved her own life. A wife, mother to 2 stunning children, Isaac and Eilina, who are both here tonight, and a successful small business owner, it is with the greatest respect and admiration that I welcome Itina to the stage.
Sorry.
So you're essentially a miracle.
Yes.
I just described your upbringing.
Yes.
How did you get to this point?
My faith in God, first and foremost. And community. Community was the key. Starting off with my adoptive mother, who's in the crowd. Very strong woman who did everything that she could to keep me involved in different activities, programs, and things like that. Programs like SEPA Gallery, Squeaky Will, SEPA Gallery, my mentor is here, Lauren Tent, Buffalo Wheat and Seed, Antoine Diggs, he's up here. These different programs, different activities, my Buffalo, my community, there was a program called Yo Buffalo, Youth Opportunity, who really invested their time, energy, effort, money into young people like me, a teen on the east side of Buffalo, from the hood, and just invested their time, energy, effort, and money so that we can be as successful as possible. That's why I'm here. That's how I'm here.
Amazing. So tell us about your business. Get Focused Productions.
Right. Get Focused Productions, believe it or not, Get Focused Productions, the name was Get Focused Entertainment. Me and my friend in high school, we thought that we wanted to be rap artists, which I'm actually a rap artist. We thought that it would be cool to have like this record company called Get Focused Entertainment. And so just growing up, we kind of grew apart a little bit, you know, time and things like that, but that name stuck with me, Get Focused, Get Focused. And I knew it was gonna be something. I wasn't sure, I was a teen. But as time went on, I understood the passion that I had, especially when I walked into that dark room. When Lauren Tent taught me about taking images and creating this magic on this paper, how you can have a blank sheet of paper and how it can transform into something amazing. That was the miracle. And from there I knew I'm passionate about photography, and I created this space of creativity. And Get Focused Productions, we provide photography, film, and also digital programming, digital arts programming to youth and young adults. So I also teach young people about this magic of photography. All about capturing, teaching, and giving back.
Unbelievable. So we have a photo that should come up behind us of you.
There's me.
There we go. Mr. Renee Jones of M&T Bank. And Itina, that's the moment she realized she won $100,000 cash from us. What? What were you thinking at that moment?
What was I thinking? I was thinking about how I was told as a young person that I would be a failure to thrive. See, my mother with the condition or the issues that she was going through while I was in her womb, I was told I would be a failure to thrive. I shouldn't be here standing on this stage, but here I am. I thought about that. I thought about being a young person and not feeling valued. I thought about that. I thought about my community. I thought about every single young person who are facing hardships, who have been dealt cards that they have no choice. I thought about that. I thought about my mom, my husband, my son, my daughter. And I thought about the opportunity here as a business, as a woman, as a foster kid, as an adoptive child. I thought about all of these things, my community, my Buffalo,
And I knew that with this opportunity, I can do some amazing things. It's only been 2 months, Colleen. We've had mentorships, we've had workshops, we had all types of resources help us, and I thank you and 43 North for investing in us, me, to be able to give back and ignite change with every single young person that I can. See, where is it happening? It's happening here, and it's happening now. It's happening through me, and it can happen to anybody. So I'm excited, I'm ignited, and I'm ready to go and ignite the next generation. It's my daughter. Hi, Eilena. Isaac. Oh my God. It's awesome what you guys are doing.
Itina is just one of our 27 winners that are here tonight and one of the many small businesses affected now and forever by Ignite Buffalo. Here's a quick video to shed some light on some other winners.
Well, Felicia, I'm about to say that congratulations, you're in the top 27 finalists for Ignite Buffalo.
Wow, that's big news. Okay, thank you very much for the call. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
So needless to say, you're a little excited.
Obviously, I'm trying to get it together. Wait.
In a lot of ways, it was more emotional than even the 43 North event, because the stories that motivated some of these individuals to start their businesses were very moving, and they were very reflective of the culture and of what's been going on in this community for a long, long time.
I think the impact was tremendous. When you walked into SUNY Erie downtown, you could already feel the excitement in the room. You could cut it with a knife.
I want to say the first thing that went through my mind is just thinking about myself as a kid, and just all the things that I've gone through, like really, like I wasn't supposed to be on that stage.
It's pretty wild to sit in a room with $1 million, you know?
I like to dream big, think big, and I'm like, man, this is like really happening. So yeah, just a ton of excitement.
Just to have someone else telling us that we're doing the right thing and giving us that money. We need to move out of the kitchen that we were in. We're going into a new kitchen now that we've been able to buy new ovens, new equipment, and it's going to just help us grow way beyond what we are now. It's so hard to even measure it, but I have my first employee, yay! And so we've just been getting all sorts of stuff done, and lots of people have heard about my business who had never heard about it before, lots of free advertising, and we've just been busier than ever.
You know what, it is emotional because being a small business owner, we've been doing this for 4 years, and starting from nothing and just kind of grinding it, having some wins, some losses, a bunch of no's, and finally it just seemed like it's a huge step, and it's like we just went from here to here.
This is probably the first time that we've ever done anything quite like this, so to have selected 27 people in the bank to each mentor one of these companies is it's important for them too. They're very excited about it.
And with the mentorship, I feel like I'm able to strengthen that. Questions, concerns that I don't know how to answer, and because even though I have this business, I might not be as business savvy. There's things that I just don't know. So having that mentorship is going to really give me the strength and give me the backing to be able to make the decisions that I need to make.
And it's just nice having someone holding me accountable for what I say I'm going to do, and they're guiding me. I've been able to kind of revamp my whole systems and just all the workshops and mentoring, and it's just, my brain is kind of on overload, but it's so good.
Okay. Was that amazing or what? So, just a little background on that. David Jakubowski from Facebook was one of our final judges last year. He sat right here in this chair, and 2 weeks after we concluded our event, he called us up and said, we're going to do something special for Buffalo. That's pretty doggone amazing as a result of this competition. That's the community collaboration that I'm talking about. And I want to thank Colleen for doing a wonderful job. Atina, I want to thank you and all the other winners. The Ignite Buffalo initiative has been particularly close to my heart, as you can imagine, and I would like to extend my personal thanks, even though he's not here, to Dave Jakubowski of Facebook and to my good friend Renee Jones of M&T Bank for helping to make this happen. Thank you very much. Okay, let's return to the pitches. Our sixth competitor is from Syracuse, New York. His company is SparkCharge. Please welcome Joshua Avi to the stage.
Man. All right, let's do it. All right, Buffalo, are you ready? All right, let's do this thing. Hello, everyone. My name is Josh Aviv, and I'm the founder and CEO of SparkCharge. At SparkCharge, we believe electric vehicle owners should be able to charge their car anytime and anywhere they want. We asked ourselves one big question as a company, and that's why use the same old method on a new innovation? Why charge your electric vehicle the same way you put gas in a car? It doesn't make sense. Right now, the electric vehicle industry is poised for success, and it's on track to be worth over $350 billion by 2030. With companies and countries getting behind electrification, it's gonna skyrocket. But there's a problem brewing here. Our infrastructure is very far behind. Right now, there's one fast charging station for every 555 electric vehicles on the road, and that problem gets worse every day. But at SparkCharge, we have a solution. A portable charging station that can be delivered to an electric vehicle owner whenever and wherever they want. The unit is ultra-fast, portable, and modular. Essentially, set it on the ground, connect as many blocks as you want to get your desired range, and plug in. We charge at a rate of 1 mile every 60 seconds, 14 times faster than level 1, 6 times faster than level 2. We're super excited to announce that we'll be working with AAA so that they can deliver these units to electric vehicle owners in need along highways and throughways. But we've also developed our own app so an electric vehicle owner can be in the middle of Times Square and have a charge called to them. We're super excited to announce we'll be launching our on-demand service in the next 100 days as well. At SparkCharge, we're 100% EV focused. We currently work with Nissan, Tesla, Kia, Mitsubishi, and we'll be working with Ford on their Chinese initiative. We're 100% dedicated to Buffalo, and we're here to hire world-class talent. We're not waiting till January. We're at the University of Buffalo Job Fair tomorrow hiring students. We're here. Thank you. We want to work with manufacturers like Taycon and Sopark to develop great units. We want to be the champion Buffalo deserves. And our investors and advisors are standing by ready to come to Buffalo to shine a light on the ecosystem that you guys have given and invest in startups here in Buffalo along with us. Our team is devoted to Buffalo, and we are all educated from universities in upstate New York. With backgrounds like Lockheed Martin and the United States Navy, we are poised for success. Together, let's SparkCharge Buffalo.
Good job. Thank you. Have here with you. By the way, I know my partner Justin's here. He drives a Tesla. I always got to buy one of these batteries so I don't got to keep driving you around. Okay.
This is Christopher Ellis, our CTO. He left Lockheed Martin to come join us. He believes in what we're doing here. Go ahead.
Nice job. Hey, talk to me a little bit about the price point. I know you talked about AAA. Is there a consumer application? Is it something that you want customers to buy too, like a direct consumer? And what's the price point?
Absolutely. So we will be going direct to consumer, but first we're starting with AAA. We're starting with the mobile app because we feel like we can definitely penetrate the market easier that way. AAA is a household name. So when you go in to buy an electric vehicle, when you hear AAA, it takes all the fear out of buying an electric vehicle. But we could go to consumer route, and we do plan on doing it. It costs around $1,500 to make, and we sell it to AAA, that unit, for around $3,500. If we want to go the consumer route, we would like to get that price below $1,000. And we can do that at scale, and we plan on doing that here in Buffalo.
Thorough answer.
I want to dig into scalability. So I want to hear first about how you're going to be able to scale your supply chain, given what's required to make a battery, as well as how you want to scale your manufacturing to meet demand that you're trying to drive.
Yeah, so all of our battery packs are manufactured here in the US. Their battery cells are imported directly from LG, and we do all the assembly here, and they're ready to scale for our product.
Who's got it next? Deborah, please.
My first question is, what's your CEO succession plan? Because I'm pretty much assuming you're running for mayor of Buffalo if you get the prize. And on a serious note, I'm just curious, again, on the consumer side of this equation and being able to scale there, how quickly is the size, weight, et cetera, cost coming to, what do you anticipate the declines in those areas to make it more affordable for consumers?
Absolutely, so that's a great question. We get asked that all the time. Everybody wants a consumer model, and we completely get that. But essentially right now, batteries are the way they are, and we're battery agnostic. So essentially, we're ready to go the consumer model as soon as battery technology catches up with us. We've developed a proprietary converter and software right now that's small enough that you can hold it in your hands, but powerful enough to power your house. We need batteries to catch up with us, and when they do, we'll definitely go that route. Great question, though.
So how are you guys investing in sales right now? Are you going after UPS, FedEx, municipalities? And how do you kind of build that enterprise model?
Yeah, so I mean, we're currently going after kind of like the AAAs, the Uber, we're going after the on-demand. But we can totally work with FedEx, we can totally work with UPS when they have a fleet large enough that it actually makes sense for us to go with them.
Can you just describe that a little bit when you say on-demand? Does this mean I, as a user, have to have an app specific to SparkCharge, or can you just explain that?
Absolutely, so it goes both ways. So right now, if you're traveling up and down the thruway, right, and you feel like you're gonna run out of range, or you wanna stop at a rest stop, if you're a AAA member, then you can call AAA. But if you're in the middle of Times Square and you say, you know what, I don't wanna pay $100 to park in the garage just to charge my electric vehicle, open up the app, out of a push of a button, choose how much range you want, and it gets delivered to you on the spot. You don't even have to be in next to your car.
Gotcha, and then what's the typical lead time from request to fulfillment?
Yeah, great question. Right now, with the pilots that we're getting ready to run, we're looking at fulfillment times in under 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Woody. Okay, here we go.
Josh, what's up? What kind of car do you drive?
Hey, brother, how's it going?
What do you drive?
Right now, we drive a Nissan Leaf.
We or you?
Me.
Okay.
The royal Leaf.
So if I invest in your company, I have to move to Buffalo, is what you said?
No, so right now, we talked with all of our mentors and advisors, and we said, look, we're applying for 43 North, but we don't want to go in alone. We're from upstate New York. We know what it means to get a company off the ground here. We have investors from China. We have investors from Shenzhen, New York, Buffalo, and they've agreed to come here and look at companies.
So lots of geopolitical, maneuvering on the supply side, the battery side. Just tell me, and the other judges, what your strategy is to decipher a friend and foe strategy over a long period of time.
15 seconds or less.
Can you
10 seconds or less.
What's your strategy of figuring out, when you start working with partners, we're working with Ford in China, we're working with this, we're working with them. You can't work with everyone.
Yeah.
You get a super geopolitical, change industry. What's your methodology for figuring out long-term friend and foe?
Yes. So, I mean, like we said, we're currently going with AAA. Long-term friend and foe is the model that we decided to do with them. With Ford, they're doing a Chinese initiative with Zodiac to sell cars.
And I'm not asking what they're doing. I'm asking what's your strategy for picking who your partners are going to be.
You guys have to talk about it behind stage.
We're picking the ones that essentially we're doing business with right now.
Good work.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you. Oh, man. Thank you, guys. Techstars family for life.
Okay, we're ready to go. Our 7th competitor from Boulder, Colorado. His company is called Kikfurther. Please welcome Sean DeClerc to the stage.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Sean DeClerc, and this is Kikfurther. On Kikfurther, anybody can support the growth of brands they love by funding their inventory of physical goods. When that inventory sells, they earn a healthy consignment profit. Kikfurther is the only platform where businesses can convert their existing customers into a funding base. This is a game changer for startups and small businesses, and that's why we think we're a perfect fit for a city like Buffalo that's looking to attract and support entrepreneurs. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is Nadia from Hydrate. Nadia had a great product and purchase orders, but she couldn't find financing that fit the needs for her business. She found traditional finance that was able to fund a portion of her business, but it didn't provide enough capital for her most lucrative channel, direct-to-consumer. When Nadia discovered Kikfurther, she said, "This is the solution I've been searching for since I started my business." Within a month, she had launched her first deal on the Kikfurther platform. The Kikfurther community, which includes thousands of investors, paid for her products. And when she sold those products, she paid them back, and they earned a great return. Since then, Nadia has successfully funded 4 additional deals on the Kikfurther platform, raising over $1 million of inventory funding, most recently with a record-breaking $524,000 deal. With Kikfurther, Nadia gets the support she needs to continue building her vision. And Kikfurther gets to support another amazing entrepreneur while earning a 5% success fee for each deal that funds. We were the first to come up with the idea for inventory crowdfunding, and we have more deals done and more data than anybody else. This isn't just a new funding platform. This is an entirely new way to fund a business. We're changing the face of banking, investing, and funding forever. And we can't wait to bring Kikfurther to Buffalo to help revitalize and re-energize the incredible entrepreneurial spirit of this city. Thank you.
Good job. Ariel, kick it off.
My question is around liability. So in the event that, I fund Nadia's inventory and she thinks she's got a great deal with Dick's or Equinox or whoever, and that deal falls through, the inventory doesn't get sold through, whose liability is it?
That's a great question. So essentially, you as a buyer get to vote alongside the other buyers to decide, what do you want to give Nadia the option to do? Do you want to call the inventory back and cancel the consignment contract? Or do you want to give her time to establish additional sales channels, sell through that inventory, and get your consignment profit? We put the control in the hands of our buyers, and in that way, we're operating a true marketplace.
Let's go.
So I work with startups all the time. The biggest problem we see with them is that they're unable to fulfill. So I'm kind of work on Arturo's example here, but in the sort of answer you gave, one of the things that you said was, well, we can kind of decide what to do with the inventory, right? In this situation, what happens when the inventory just doesn't come? We see, I would say, 30 to 40% of our startups cannot deliver their inventory on time, and maybe 20 to 25% never deliver. What happens when you get 10 of those cases happening all at the same time? How do you kind of maintain the trust of your marketplace?
Good question.
That's a great question. And what I would say is we've worked very hard over the last 4 years to develop a proprietary compliance scorecard that helps us by looking at the supply chain partners. So we score our businesses based on how successful have they been producing the inventory, how many manufacturing runs with the same supply chain partner. That is where our supply chain expertise helps us to identify businesses that are going to be able to perform. And in the event that they cannot perform and the inventory isn't delivered, that is the business's liability.
But I'm going to follow up on that, because what you're describing are established businesses that have supply chains, that have reliability of supply chain. Those people won't come to your platform. By and large, those people can go to banks and get small loans. They can use different resources that are available that don't charge the types of rates you guys probably do. So what do you do with the first-time entrepreneur, the guy who goes and raises money on Kickstarter and then comes to your site?
I'd love to have David answer this question.
There's a middle ground that we do work with. So we actually don't work with first production runs. So a business has to have produced and delivered product before they come to Kikfurther, and they have to have an established sales history and plans for that inventory. So before they get to that point where they're big enough where they can get a line of credit that's going to cover their inventory buys, there's a gap where Kikfurther is the solution.
And just to jump onto that very briefly, Cabbage and On Deck, they charge rates as high as 11.5% a month. So there's a huge market. They're originating $1 billion a year. There's a huge market of businesses that need this financing where we're a significantly cheaper solution for them than the other providers on the marketplace.
I believe you got a question?
Yeah, to follow up, so when a semi-mature company comes to you, are you curating it all, or are you just leaving that up to the investors, customers, whoever, who are bankrolling this?
No, so we absolutely have a compliance department. We look at over 120 items on our scorecard. We dig into the business relationships for our marketplace, and we only allow certain brands on. And of course, we always want to expand and democratize access to capital and continue to expand the scope. But for now, we're very focused on serving the needs of the buyers whose trust is irreplaceable to us.
So democratizing capital is one of those really feel-good statements. But in reality, how do you protect people who are writing a check? Are there any qualifications that they need to have on the investor side?
So for our investors, one of the things that we love is the fact that, no, it's a purchase of inventory similar to the way that you could go on AliExpress, or anybody could go on AliExpress and buy some inventory. So since you're buying a discrete physical product, we can make this platform available to everyone. And the trust in Kikfurther is that we are screening these businesses and we are getting the bad actors out before they hit the marketplace.
Okay, so last question, what's your sort of acceptance rate? Like you have the filtering in place and compliance?
10 seconds, 10 seconds.
Dave?
Or default rate?
I would say about 1 in 10 companies that we talk to actually qualify. So a lot of them are pre-revenue, and they're in a tough position where they're trying to plan out their future and rely on financing sources. So we generally recommend they go to sources like Kiva or Kickstarter, Indiegogo.
All right, very good. Thank you, judges. Great job, David. Thank you. Good job.
Thanks so much.
I didn't understand any of that. Just being honest. Okay. All righty. Our 8th competitors from San Francisco, California. The company is HiOperator. Please join me in welcoming Liz Tsai to the stage. Best of luck to you. Thank you.
All right, good evening, Buffalo. So HiOperator is a super scalable customer service agent. Customer service is a $120 billion market in the US and is one of the 2 most common jobs we're excited to bring to Buffalo. We're on a mission to build the friendliest company on earth, and we think Buffalo is the secret sauce. Everyone here has probably had a bad customer service experience. Maybe it took too long, maybe we were routed overseas, or maybe it seemed like the agent was new and just didn't know what they were doing yet. The thing is, scaling customer service is really difficult. You're constantly hiring and training new agents or trying to outsource to save a bit of money, but you're not doing anything to make them better. HiOperator solves this. We provide clients with a super agent. They hire us once, they train us once, and then we can do 10 or 10,000 emails a day for them. We bring all the systems that a company uses into our platform through integrations, and we tell our agents exactly what to do next. With this system and machine learning, our employees are 4 times more efficient than your average customer service agent. It's an assembly line for customer service. We doubled our revenue in the last 2 months, and we're on track to hit $1.6 million in annual run rate by the end of this year, even if I make no sales in the next 3 months. These are existing clients that range from e-commerce to SaaS. I went to MIT at 15. I have 3 engineering degrees. My background is mostly logistics, but it's not about me. It's about these amazing people from all walks of life that work with us. Buffalo's cost of living and talent pool will allow us to put our engineers and our customer service agents in the same room. It's also arguably America's best and friendliest city to hire for customer service and agents in. We're also partnering with Local Edge here in Buffalo to help make us a job creation leader from day 1. We will hire 10 people in Buffalo by the beginning of next year, and you guys can hold me to that number. Our goal by the end of next year is to have hired 50 people in Buffalo. So thank you for your time, guys. I'm Liz with HiOperator, and I'd love to bring out my Director of Operations, Tulsi, to take any questions.
Please do that. Yep. Okay. Haley, you're up.
Hey there. All right. So I'd love to know what your ideal customer is and how you sell it to them, that they're going to be able to get cost savings or increase their revenues using you.
So we work really with any consumer company. To date, our target customers have been people who have less than 200 employees. And the way we get in there is pretty simple. I mean, churn is 40% a year. They're always going to be hiring customer service agents once they're beyond a certain size. And we're not saying, let us take 100% of your customer service. All we're saying is, you have to hire someone anyway, let us do this, and then you'll never have to deal with this again. So it's sort of land and expand model.
Who's up?
So how do you guys compare to like Convergys or something like that? I mean, are you guys building call centers or are you selling software or both?
We are providing customer service, period. Our long-term goal here is automating as much of the back-end processes as possible. So that differs a little bit from a Convergys, where they very much are a per headcount revenue model, right? We charge per ticket, not per headcount, which means we're incentivized to be as efficient as possible. And also, most of these are labor arbitrage companies. They're looking for the cheapest humans they can find that they can put in a room and hope they get that job done. What we're doing is building a framework that's going to allow us to industrialize the service economy and actually get to a place where humans do what they're best at and they're not clicking the same buttons over and over again on the back end.
But are you doing that via script? How are you doing that?
So what we do is we essentially build workflows, right? So we standardize what the back end looks like for customer service. And so most RPA would be UI specific, for example. So we say if you're using a Shopify or a Zendesk or a Magento, we have APIs, you click a button, you send us that key. If you aren't, as long as you're keeping your data in a database and we can read and write to that remotely, we're good to go. We're completely UI agnostic.
You good? Arturo.
When you talked about efficiency, you talked about email specifically. Is most of your business done via email or is it actual calls?
90% of our business right now is text-based. That's email, SMS, chat.
So you talk about workflows, but that kind of oversimplifies because every customer is different. So what's the onboarding like to bring a new customer on board?
So customers are different, but there are a lot of verticals. So if you're using, for example, Zendesk, Shopify, Shipwire, it doesn't really matter if you're selling a pair of shoes or if you're selling a book. Your workflow is actually very similar. So what we found is that for similar companies, it's really we have templates, we copy and paste, and what might be different is whether or not you require a photo for a return, whether or not you have a 2-week or a 4-week return policy. So those customizations do get pretty small.
So do you have an average onboarding time? Does it take a day, a week, a month?
For e-commerce companies, we expect to be doing tickets by the end of that first day with that customer.
End of the first day?
Yes, sir.
Do we hold you to that too?
For e-commerce, yes. Yeah. Looking for more customers, drop me a note.
It seems to me that companies are investing in bots and chats for omni-channel and workflow, like crazy to take these simple repetitive tasks, put it into a script and answer it over text, phone, email, whatever. So, I know this is happening everywhere because I'm involved in a couple of these. So why would someone, want to outsource it at $3 a ticket?
We're not a software solution that you need to implement. So I believe that customer service, there's a front end and there's a back end. The front end is what we're doing now. We're having a conversation. This is what humans are best at. The back end is what most chatbot companies don't look at. And in order to actually say we're going to automate customer service, you need to see that entire chain. Yes, it's a lot easier to just take conversational data and build a chatbot out of that, but that's the tip of the iceberg. I mean, if we're looking at it here, we're having a conversation. I love you guys.
Yeah, but that's not really my understanding of how some of the, really good AI-based stuff, not just a regular chatbot, but really understand basic business process, understand how to, do a return. And I think it's a little bit more in the tech side that's happening. But let me just ask another question. Do you have the software of all your clients on site? So you're running like 5, 6, 7 different support center software packages?
Last question.
No, so all of our agents work just out of that platform that you see. So we don't care what custom admin system our clients have built. We read and write directly to their database. So our agents only learn that one system that they have to deal with. They aren't trying to learn 5, 6, 7 different systems for all of those different clients. It's one system, one set of automations.
Very good. We'll end it there. Thank you, judges. Ladies, very nice. Okay, 2 more to go. Our 9th competitor from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Woo.
That's a penalty.
That's a penalty. Eagles?
That's a penalty.
They win one and they get...
You're not leaving here alone, are you?
That's a technical foul.
I got about 6 months to do that, then it all goes away.
Again, you done? The company is National Club. Please welcome Mugja Eltonjani to the stage, please. I did the best I could. Best of luck. Don't pay attention to this guy.
Okay. Hi, my name is Mugja. I'm CEO and founder of Natural Club, a plant-based beauty product company that wants to build a production facility in Buffalo to meet our growing demand. So to give you more perspective, 12 months ago, we were making $2,000 a month. Last month, we made over $205,000. We reached a $2 million runway rate in 1 year. And 60% of our revenue is gross profit. So raise your hands if you've ever had a bad hair day. Yeah? Yeah. So I used to have bad hair days all the time. So I was so frustrated, I started making my own products from scratch using things in my kitchen. And I found a vibrant DIY community doing the same thing. Although organic products are the fastest growing types of products in the beauty industry, larger companies avoid putting in the vitamin-rich food ingredients because of the short shelf life. Our customers choose us against our competitors because we are the first company to put fresh fruit pulp in hair products using food preservation technology. Our customers love that our products have to be refrigerated. So our brand strategy is focused on education through Instagram and email marketing. And this is the team that bootstrapped our way here. I knew I wanted to start a company, so I joined an entrepreneurial fellowship where I met my co-founder Sam and our first 2 hires, Philomena and Jamie. Mohammed was a longtime mentor of mine with decades of experience in the beauty industry and former executive at Revlon and L'Oreal. He left Revlon to join our team to do product development. We are the team to take Natural Club to $1 billion CPG company by expanding in these areas. We've done so much with just 2 products and no funding. So imagine what we can do with $1 million. Buffalo is a great place for us to be in. We met some of our customers. We're Natural Club, and we are the future of beauty. Thank you. I'm going to bring out my co-founder.
I'm obviously a big customer. Okay. Woody, with that dome, we'll start with you.
So I love this. I bought this when I heard your first pitch.
You did?
Yeah, I did it. And like, so you know the term TAM expander? You know, your TAM is like, you know, black women today, you know, you can now have like old Jewish, you know, curly people in it, right? So, you know, I think the fact that you're in the refrigerator is a great thing because it changes the paradigm. So I want to know how you're thinking about making that change paradigm your unique, you know, big accelerant.
Yeah, so I think back to the future. I think in the future, pulling out beauty products in the refrigerator is going to be a norm, and we're ahead of that curve. We're going to start with 12 new refrigerated beauty products while also having shelf-stable products. And we're going to grow through e-commerce where we can collect customer information. And then once we have a loyal customer base, we'll be moving into retail. And at that point, we will have small fridge for our beauty products.
All right. I would look at the wine cooler box people, like how they, you know, got the wine into a box, into the refrigerator. I think this is a screaming idea.
Okay, Arturo.
Thank you.
I, like you, deep condition a lot.
Don't use any.
Did you try our product?
You and I, all the time. Avocado, what's it smell like?
Yeah, so avocado smells fresh. We have, I wish we could show you, a video of people smelling it for the first time. Some of the adjectives they use, it's fresh, it's clean, it's lavender based. We don't use any fragrance. We just use essential oils. So it's all natural.
It's okay.
Who's next, please?
So, go ahead. You were raising your hand. It's all right.
I was wondering what your product pipeline looks like. If you're going to be growing, what's going to help grow that?
Yeah, so Buffalo, if we can get a production facility here. Right now, we do everything in-house, and we streamline the process. We have 8 other members on our team helping us with production, and that's growing. We're growing people there. We're also going to do a manufacturing side as well. So we'll do some in-house and some manufacturing so we can scale our operations.
And are you going to move from being an avocado and orange to other fruits?
Yes.
What do you
we
think?
have, well, I don't want to say everything that we're thinking of, but we do have a 3-year product roadmap that Mohammed has developed for us.
Michelle, do you have a question?
Yeah, I'm curious to hear, like, I haven't used the product yet, but I hope to. I was actually one of the people who would make products in my kitchen as well, so I can relate. What I did see, there are a couple of things I picked up on when I went to your site just to see the on-site experience. It's kind of a lot coming at you all at once. It's like email acquisition, a test, a quiz, what kind of curly hair do you have, you know, drop your emails, follow us on social. Where, as you think about focus and like how you're able to sort of grow your customer strategy, where are you seeing the most success? And then as a quick follow-on, since I know we're time limited, I want to know where the revenue is being generated. Clearly with influencer marketing, there's always a conversion to sales, but those aren't owned audiences. They're the influencers' audiences. So how are you thinking about that conversion, or what have you seen so far with your owned audience on your own site in spite of this somewhat, you know, confusing kind of user experience?
Yeah, so our user experience right now, we're just trying to get you to give us your email. And although it's crowded, we do collect 20% of peak traffic that comes in, and we capture their email. And from that, we market towards them. So email marketing is how we get our most valuable. Yeah, most valuable. It's free. We have over 110,000 emails that we've collected within the year.
Okay, one more. Who's got it?
I'm just curious. I mean, you guys are way too young for this, but it made me think about the power of your community is so potentially viral, right? Yes. And I don't know if you've studied the Tupperware Mary Kay models, where you have site-based affinity groups on the ground, basically selling to each other. I mean, those were very powerful models when they were, and had their day. But have you looked at that and thought about that?
10 seconds.
Yeah, so we do have an affiliate program that people could sell products on their blogs, and they'll get money to their account. That's one way that we can scale really easily. In the future, we can have, that's an option that I would definitely look into, because the fastest way that we grow is through word of mouth.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, judges.
Thank you, guys.
That's a great job.
That's a lot of planning. You got to plan for it, right?
2 hour thawing.
Yeah,
You gotta
that's what
thaw it
I was
for
just
2
looking
hours.
at that. It's a long time.
Okay, we good to go? All right. Last but not least, our 10th and finalist competitor. From Boston, Massachusetts, the company is Foresake. Please welcome to the stage Jake Anderson and Sam Barstow.
A few samples for you guys to check out. After living and working in the Rockies, we set out to build the footwear that we couldn't find. We called the company Foresake, for Sam and Jake. It was quite a leap of faith. For me personally, that was a literal leap. I jumped out of a plane for the Kickstarter campaign that launched our brand. Luckily, both the parachute and the campaign worked. Sam landed in one piece, and we raised over $100,000. Here's why that worked. Right now, there's a problem with traditional outdoor footwear. Sales have declined in the hiking boot category for the last 3 years because the products are bulky, the designs are outdated, and the look is overly technical. Hiking brands are not connecting with millennial consumers. At Foresake, we don't make hiking boots. We make versatile footwear designed to take you from peak to pavement. We call them sneaker boots. Our distribution is split about equally between direct-to-consumer and retailers across the country. Our fastest growing and most profitable channel is our website, while we also sell to some of the largest outdoor retailers in the country, like REI and backcountry.com. As you can see from this slide, we've got traction. We've grown sales every year since launch, crossing the $1 million threshold in 2016, and we're on pace to hit $3.2 million this year. Next year, we expect that to grow to nearly $7 million in sales. We've grown the company to over $3 million in sales with 3 people. Our plates are full. If we're fortunate enough to win, we'll be investing in new customer acquisition, and we'll also be building out our organization in Buffalo, making key hires in customer service, operations, logistics, and sales. Sam and I started this company right out of college, so we're honest with ourselves about what we know and what we don't. And we've filled those gaps by by partnering for key roles in design, distribution, fulfillment, and production. We also lean on experienced investors and advisors, many of whom are from Western New York, who have deep experience in this space. We're excited to follow in their footsteps and build Buffalo's next great consumer brand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, guys. Okay, and down. Okay. Arturo, please kick it off. I'll come to you next, Woody.
With the advent of numerous brands getting into the athleisure category, you already have the Nike, Adidas, Timberlands of the world making sneaker boots. Nike's been making sneaker boots for decades. And now you have all these fashion brands that are saying, hey, we're in the athleisure category as well. So I see the advent of a lot of sneaker product and boot products. How are you prepared to stave off that competition?
Yeah, so we were the first to offer sneaker boots in the outdoor category specifically. So everybody else is kind of coming into this from a different perspective. Nike and Adidas from athletic, fashion brands from fashion. We are core outdoor, and we're owning this space in the outdoor category. And so that gives us an advantage that's authentic, that's performance driven, and that's first and foremost adventure focused, travel focused, and outdoor focused.
I think my follow-up to that also would be, when Nike and Adidas do this, they bring their current existing athletic technology to these products. So you're talking about a product that doesn't have a technological advantage in comparison to those. Is there some thought of some proprietary tech advantage in the future for you guys, some tech products?
Yeah, so we're always developing new features. One that we've already developed is something called a peak-to-pavement outsole. It's basically a lug design that works just as well on rugged outdoor terrain as it does on pavement. We haven't patented that yet because what we understand, it's just not worth it in the sneaker business where designs are constantly ripped off, patent or no patent. But it's something that we're constantly working on.
Yeah, and I think it's also important to point out that our distribution is already in this outdoor space in all of the best retailers like REI, which is nationwide. Customers are very aware of Nike and Adidas, and they're just not looking for them in the outdoor stores.
Do you make a size 15 shoe?
We currently go up to 14 for men.
What's up with that?
It's a lot
That's
of money
like
to
discrimination. I can't go outside. I'm a big sneaker guy. So I'm serious about that, by the way. My question is, look, this is kind of a hits business. I get all the tech. So how do you stay fresh and nasty over a long period of time?
Yeah, I think first of all, you need that one iconic product. You look at the UGG boot, you look at Sorel and their insulated boots. Their billion-dollar brands are built on a single really good product. But at the same time, you always need to surround that with really fresh, exciting products season after season. And that's what we do. We surround our best sellers with constantly evolving fresh styles.
And as Jake said at the beginning of our presentation, we're very much a part of our market and know it really, really well. So we really rely on that and the team that we surround ourselves with on the design and development side to make sure that we're keeping our finger on the pulse and we're staying on top of all the trends.
But I think I heard you say that you're outsourcing design.
So design is so cyclical, and so because we work on a 2-season schedule, we really just need a designer for about 4 weeks at a time. So because of that, we outsource, but we work very closely on development. We do all the product briefs ourselves.
So I'm confused between maybe kind of original product vision and design. So where is the IP or the uniqueness that makes you a hit? Does it sit inside you, or is it kind of also exists outside? And in the long term, is that a good idea?
We've kept the same designer since we launched, and we expect to continue working with them. Eventually, once the work gets to a point where we can support a full-time role, we'll bring that person in-house.
But to your point, I really don't think that it's dependent completely on the designer. A lot of it is recognizing the space for the product that we're trying to introduce to the market, what we want it to look like, and we know our customers better than anyone else and what they want.
Bernsey, you're next. Who wants to go? Go.
I was just wondering about, it sounds like some of your core technology for your manufacturing comes from China and a source provider there. Do you have any backups or alternatives within the States or in other places given some of the economic changes that are going on?
Yeah, absolutely. At the market, at the moment, the waterproof technology that we're using is pretty much exclusively in Asia. But that being said, all of our tooling we own, all of our lasts we own, all of our cutting dies we own. So if we wanted to move that to another factory, that's definitely an option, and we're open to any options that come about.
Okay, we're going to have to end it there. Good work.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. What'd you guys think? 10 great companies, huh? Unbelievable. It's not easy coming up here and do that, and I'm very proud of all of them. All right, that concludes our pitches tonight. Now our judges and I will head backstage to deliberate and determine which 8 companies will win a cut of $5 million. Let's give it up for our judges. Before I introduce our next 43 North employee, I want to thank all of you for giving me the privilege of emceeing tonight's event. I look forward to seeing you all next year. Thank you. I'd like now to welcome 43 North's Associate Vice President of Portfolio Management and Selection, Lauren Baines, to recognize our mentors. Lauren? I have a piece of gum for you here, too. I'll just leave that there just in case you need it, okay? Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
43 North has continued to place an emphasis on mentorship and programming for our winners. Mentors not only provide strategic advice in a number of areas, they connect our winners to potential customers, vendors, and manufacturing resources to help them grow. When they come here, they don't know anyone, and these mentors are essential to helping them. This year, we doubled down on our mentorship programming, pairing our 2017 winners not only with strategic advisors in their area, but a team of C-level executives, Buffalo-based, that can provide them advice in the areas of finance, manufacturing, people management, design, business development, and so much more. As of today, these executives have spent over 220 hours with our teams helping them grow. While so many in our community have helped 43 North winners this year, I'd like to take a moment to thank a few who've gone above and beyond, dedicating their time and expertise to helping our companies grow. Mentors, please stand and be recognized for the work that you have done this year. Thank you so much. And now I'd like to introduce Peter Burakowski, our Vice President of Organizational Strategy and Marketing. Thanks.
'18 has been an exciting year for startups in Buffalo. I'd like to share a few highlights, and I ask that you hold your applause until I get to the end. We'll begin with a trio of past 43 North semifinalists. First up, we have Circuit Clinical, which connects healthcare providers and their patients with leading-edge clinical study opportunities. They raised another $1.75 million and introduced their new BioLibrary and Trial Scout products this year. Next, Buffalo Automation closed on $900,000 in funding to expand pilot tests of their Automate system, which helps boats operate semi-autonomously even during the night. And Post Process Technologies, a company that developed automated solutions for post-printing and additive manufacturing, raised $7.8 million to keep building their sales and software teams. We also had some exciting news from a 2016 43 North finalist. Clean Capital, which offers a platform to identify, screen, and manage clean energy projects for investors, recently relocated their business to Buffalo. And tonight, we also recognize Veriti Parente, a maker of lithium-ion batteries and drive systems for construction equipment. They raised $4 million, and they plan to create 28 jobs in the former American Axle plant on Buffalo's east side. Please join me in giving all these companies a round of applause.
There are many organizations working to build Buffalo's entrepreneurial ecosystem, and two of them had big announcements this year. So first, we learned that University of Buffalo will be the home of a new innovation hub, thanks to $32 million in Buffalo Billion funding that'll go toward an early stage technology commercialization fund, programming and services for entrepreneurs, and the design and build of a new incubator space at the Center for Bioinformatics and Life Sciences on Ellicott Street. Second, Launch New York. Launch New York announced earlier this year that it'll operate a new emerging clean tech opportunity incubator on behalf of NYSERDA. On top of that, Launch New York now has made 29 seed investments, making it the most active seed fund in upstate New York. Earlier tonight, we also talked about Ignite Buffalo, and I'd like to take a moment to recognize the winner of other regional competitions. One of today's 43 North finalists, LegWorks. LegWorks was the winner of the pitch competition at the Bright Buffalo Niagara Entrepreneur Expo. Second, BitCrusher. Now BitCrusher has created a device that allows guitar players to control digital sound effects right on their instruments. Now, they won University of Buffalo's Panache competition, and then they went on to take first place in the New York Business Plan competition. Now, I'm just saying, our chairman at 43North, Eric Rice, also won the Panache competition, so keep that in mind. And now, look at where he and Campus Labs have come to. Third, TILT, which stands for This Is Like That. It recommends new bars and restaurants to try. And they were named Champion of Startup Weekend Buffalo. So for those who are not familiar, Startup Weekend is a whirlwind event where you can form a team, create a prototype of your idea, validate your plan, and receive feedback from experienced entrepreneurs all in the course of one weekend. So let's give it up for these 3 winners. And for a handy guide to every organization and competition related to startups in Buffalo, please check out the resources section of our website. And while you're on that site, you'll also find information about 43North's portfolio of 37 winners. I'm excited to say that our companies have made a great deal of progress this year. They've been opening up manufacturing facilities. They've been expanding their sales and introducing new products. Now let's get you up to speed on what the portfolio has been doing.
We kick off our portfolio review with some exciting news. 43North winners have created over 280 jobs in Western New York and have raised $100 million in venture capital, along with $14 million in grants. We're just kicking off year 5 of the competition tonight, and 4 years ago those jobs and investment weren't contributing to the growth of our region. So on to the portfolio. Terra came to Buffalo in January with big news. They just closed a $3 million round of funding. And since joining 43North, Terra has grown from $100,000 in annual recurring revenue to $1 million in ARR, and they've made key hires to expand their Buffalo team. Kangaroo Time has been hopping around closing deal after deal with childcare facilities across the country. They've partnered with ECMC and SUNY Binghamton to build the first autism behavioral health connected experience. Over the summer, Femi Secrets launched their subscription-based service and their e-commerce store on their website. And with a growing base of users, things are looking up for Daviel and the hardworking team at Femi Secrets. Kidney Labs continues to work towards building a dialysis unit that fits in the palm of your hand. Recently, the company established a collaboration with a local animal facility at the University at Buffalo for characterization of kidney products in large animals. You and I both know what that means, and you know why we can't show video of that. SunCare has partnered with TapeCon to have their skin-mimicking sticker, which detects UV rays and lets you know when you need to reapply sunscreen, manufactured right here in Buffalo. And some of the SunCare team are actually in Australia right now promoting the launch of Spot in the land down under. Burner has become a complete corporate wellness platform and brought on clients like Aileron, BNMC, and the roster keeps on growing, just like their team as well. Burner has established one of the most robust corporate wellness platforms on the market. So for all you corporate executives in the audience, why not help your employees strive to get healthier with Burner? SomaDetect has been moving the needle and getting their machine learning powered sensor on dairy farms across the states. They've grown their team of engineers in Buffalo and are about to implement version 2 of their sensors at a test farm at Cornell University. See what I did there? Moving. Squire has increased revenue by 500% since last year, grown their team in Buffalo, and have implemented their back-end point-of-sales platforms in several barbershops in the Queen City. In addition to that, do you follow your barber on Instagram? Did you notice that you can now book an appointment right within Instagram? Squire is one of only a couple companies in the world that Instagram has brought on for customer engagement at that level. That's pretty awesome. Ultracell is now called Clean Fiber, and it's been a busy 2018. They opened a manufacturing facility, closed a $6.8 million round of funding, and have begun churning out product that is set to hit the market by the end of the year. Pretty soon, you'll be able to insulate your home with cellulose from Clean Fiber made right here in Western New York. And the only question now is, does it come in 43North Orange? Dive Pool Systems has opened a manufacturing facility in Cheektowaga on the old Costanzo's Bakery facility, which explains why their filters smell like fresh rolls. The team is plugging away at producing their self-powered pool filter that converts your pool to salt water. They've recently opened an e-commerce store on their website, and if you use the promo code NATE, you can save 10%. Why not give it a try? Bounce Imaging continues to provide law enforcement and first responders with a state-of-the-art 360 camera. They recently signed deals with government agencies whose acronyms I can't use so I don't end up on some sort of government list, and locally there are 25 agencies in Western New York using Bounce Imaging devices for their search and rescue or law enforcement purposes. And ACV Auction just opened up their brand new offices on the 3rd floor of the Innovation Center on the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus, and recently they announced they're on track to sell, wait for it, 100,000 cars on their platform this year. So yeah, they're doing pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay, how are we doing? Are we ready, Buffalo? Keep this moving? Okay, so each year, 43North reserves a portion of our prize pool as follow-on investment in one or more winners at the end of their first year in Buffalo. This year's follow-on investment is $300,000. Now, Aileron will be sweetening the pot by offering a total of $25,000 worth of recruiting support to our recipients to help grow their companies here in Buffalo. Right now, it's my pleasure to welcome a longtime 43North supporter, Scott Stenslick, President and CEO of Aileron, to announce the 2 companies that will be receiving additional investments from 43North. And this year, it is 2 companies because it was such a competitive pool in the year 4 cohort.
Good evening. I'm super pleased to announce the following follow-on funding recipients from last year's class. And the winners are Kangaroo Time, and Femi Secrets.
Come up and we'll take a picture together. Come on, let's do this. Let's do this. Where's our photographer? Oh, hey, thanks, Nancy. Okay, now, you guys ready?
Yes.
Our next step here. Okay, so Scott Wyman of Kangaroo Time, Dabiel Jackson of Femseekers. Guess what? You now get to join Nate Benson right here. Now, Nate's our Director of Media and Public Relations, and you're going to do a live taping of Latitude Live. So, congratulations.
Thanks.
You get put in the hot seat now.
Let's go do it.
Hello, everybody. Well, look who made his way into Shays this year.
Hello.
For those who don't remember, I was locked out last year, so it's nice to be able to see the pitches this year. So, Davielle and Scott, congratulations, but it's not quite over yet. We have to decide the following funding winner. Whoever gets the most Grover Cleveland trivia correct gets the whole thing.
No.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
It's not going to work.
So Davielle and Scott, it's been about a year since a lot of these folks in the room have probably seen you and caught up with you. So why don't you give us a quick update? I know we went through it in the video, but why don't you give everybody an update of what's been new, what's been happening with both of your companies?
So right after I delivered the wrong pitch deck.
That's right.
I think that's the last time everybody saw us. We leaned into the Buffalo experience. Yeah. We moved our entire company here. We shut down our California headquarters, came here with 3 people, and now have 10 in Buffalo. And our plan over the next year is to hire 40 to 50 more people here in Buffalo.
40 to 50, wow. That's great. So what type, what positions are you going to be looking for?
So a lot of engineering talent, and we've been really impressed with the engineering talent that we've seen coming from UP. Marketing, sales, really building and growing our sales engine as we grow and build the product.
Davielle, how about you? How about Femi Secrets? What's new?
Absolutely. Femi Secrets has done a pivot into e-commerce, which is extremely great for us. We've also launched 6 new products. We're looking to break ground on our manufacturing facility in December. Yeah, that's great. And with that manufacturing facility, we're looking to create 12 new jobs before the end of 2018. And total, we're looking to bring at least 120 to Buffalo within the next 3 to 5 years.
Wow. Congratulations. That's fantastic. Now, you kind of beat me to the punch. My next question, you mentioned you kind of pivoted the model for your business a little bit. Talk about the decision to do that and why you think that's the way to go.
Yes, so when we initially came to the competition, we were partnered with Walmart and Target. For the consumer products people who are here, that turnaround time on payment is extremely hard for startup companies. I'm talking about 120 days, 200 days until you get a check, which really slows down your company. With subscription, of course, your cash is up front. You cut out the middleman, you increase your profit margins by 30% immediately. So we're winning. So with 5,000 subscribers a month, we'll hit 115,000 per.
Wow.
So
now you just got to get people to subscribe, right?
yes, so we already have 1,000 users. We launched on August 9th, had a huge launch in Buffalo, and we'll look to have 5,000 within the next 60 to 30 days.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So Scott, we mentioned in the video you partnered with ECMC for an autism and behavioral health platform. Can you kind of dig in a little bit of what that looks like and why you're doing it?
Sure. So our platform we found has been great at the point of care. And in some of those high acuity environments where data collection can be a challenge, we found a nice fit there. So we built the product to be even deeper than it was in our traditional standard market in early education, but we're also pivoting the product into other areas like autism and behavioral health.
You know, what was the decision making behind that? Obviously, you've been in child care facilities, you know, for many years now with your platform. Why make the shift?
We felt like the platform was nimble enough to make that jump into a market that would expand our total addressable market. And it just made sense. And we felt like as a company, there's a stewardship to really deliver a product that can have a high impact.
You know, Davielle, you mentioned in your first statement about a facility. Can you kind of give us some details of what the purpose of the facility is and what you're looking to do there and possibly where?
Absolutely. So initially, we'll hire a lot of the companies of 43North hire engineers and things of that nature. We'll be doing the hard blue-collar labor, packing, shipping, and handling. So we'll be looking to hire some great people there in that area as well as some operations personnel.
That's great. And you know, almost immediately upon you winning, you know, the city of Buffalo and Mayor Brown, they kind of came to you and said, you know, how can we help, right? And a lot of this has been in the works for many months, and you're getting ready for December, right?
Absolutely. So the support from the community in Buffalo has just been tremendous. I literally went to visited some warehouses that we could use to build, and I met with one of the community leaders here via Mayor Brown, and she came meet me, and I said, I want this place, and she was like, let me go find you some money. I was like, okay, let's do it. So yeah, it's been amazing here.
Now, I hate to perpetuate a stereotype about Buffalo, but both of you have incredible stories about moving to Buffalo in January when you joined 43North. Davielle, that includes you taking a multi-hour ride in an Uber from Rochester to Buffalo, right?
Yeah, I had to land in Rochester on my very first day, January 3rd here, because it was a blizzard. Then, you know, that 17-car pileup, I was stuck in that for 7 hours. And I was like, God, if this is any sign, you know, just turn me around back to Rochester and get me back to Atlanta. But it worked out well. I toughed it out.
Now, you had a companion in that car with you, and that kind of led to business deals, right?
It did. So via God, I happened to be trapped in that car with the head of USPS. So I was in my little skull cap and everything. She was like, who's this kid in the car with me? And I was like, but I'm the owner of Femi Secrets. And so we actually did a deal to where I get discounts now with USPS. So it worked out well for me.
That's great. Isn't that fantastic?
Yes, yes, yes.
Now, Scott, as it turns out, they don't sell windshield wiper fluid in California, do they?
Yeah, winterizing is not a big priority there, right?
Yeah,
so,
shockingly.
So Jessica and I left Long Beach, California. And
Driving,
yes. Drove my car across country. We hit Erie, PA, and we're met with about 60 inches of snow in less than an hour. Yeah. So I'm on I-90, and I get into New York, and the ambassadors of New York, the people at the toll booth, I asked, are we going to be okay because I can't see the road? And she looked at me and said, well, there's no other option.
Wait, Scott told me the story, and he said, we thought we were going to die. Yeah. He said, we started calling our parents and friends.
It was our last call, and then we, crying, on a steering wheel, going 2 or 3 miles per hour on I-90, 7 hours to get to Buffalo from the border of New York It
Highly
brings a
recommended.
family together.
Yeah.
It does.
It certainly helps you bond with your family.
Yes.
Obviously, stereotypes aside, though, can you talk a little bit about just what your experience in this last year has been, and why you're going to keep doubling down on Buffalo?
So I think our culture as a company is a culture of kindness and relentlessness for our customers, and that has mirrored the people of Buffalo. We came here to open arms. Eric Reich called me in November and said, I think I've got the pick of a great couple of mentors. And he described Bob Willer. And Bob has been like family to me here. He has worked so hard to help us and help grow our company. He has just been an amazing influence on us. And for those companies looking to come to Buffalo, really open yourself up to mentorship and get rid of the typical founder imposter syndrome and lean into the experience. We've just seen amazing growth. Right. And under the tutelage of Bob, it's just been amazing. So a hand for Bob. He's just been a phenomenal mentor.
Yeah. I mean, Bob's been in almost every single day I've seen him in the office in some capacity.
We cannot get rid of him.
I would like to highlight another aspect from the winning and the team, the camaraderie within the CEOs who win. We're really like a class. We really support each other. We really help each other. So that's another asset. So not only do you have the Buffalo community, but you have a team of badass CEOs who can take you to the next level.
And part of that, just embracing the Buffalo scene and the Buffalo culture. Both of you are actually been holding kind of monthly networking and talks. You have Femi Talks. You have talks with child care professionals and the rest. Why did you guys immediately start doing things like that?
Well, it's really important for Femi Secrets to keep to my word, which I stated that I want women to be very confident about their feminine hygiene as well as educated. So we held Femi Talks, which was centered around gynecologists and just giving women information that they don't know. Sure. One of the funniest things that we just did was a male Femi Talk. That'll be on YouTube soon. It's hilarious. You have to go see it. I held up a panty liner and they were like, "Is that a female condom?" So that's great, but more so for community involvement.
We just, as a company, we knew we could put roots down here, and what we learned is building community is very seamless here. And the community of early educators that come to our monthly meeting, it's growing. We pull you in to do all the audio video, so thank you, Nate. But it's really a growing community of partnership, and we've just had an easy time building it.
So both of you have a large chunk of the Buffalo business community here right now. So I'm going to give you the opportunity. What do you need? What are you looking for? Now's your chance to ask.
Femi Secrets is looking to raise $750,000. That's to hire all our new personnel for our manufacturing facility, as well give us 6 months runway in inventory, which will make us cash positive by this time, March 2019. And another highlight, Nate, I just want to say, since we won the follow-up funding, I've already hired 2 people who will be starting tomorrow.
That's great.
So we're continuing to invest in Buffalo.
That's great.
So I have somewhat of a militant ask. If you have a child and they attend a child care center, walk in tomorrow morning with your child and demand that they equip themselves with the greatest operating system for child care centers in the world.
Fantastic. Boom. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2018 Follow-On Funding winners, Danielle Jackson, Scott Wayman. Congratulations, guys.
Nice job.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Now, everybody, I just want to say thank you so much for everyone who has listened to the podcast Latitude. Make sure you open up Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, and make sure you subscribe. We have over 75 episodes, and on a weekly basis, we're telling the story of the Buffalo startup community, and it's really your stories. I absolutely love telling them. I love sharing stories, and if you feel like it, leave a 5-star review so Alex, is happy with my progress. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex.
Okay, congratulations again, Kangaroo Time and Femi Secrets. Now let's get to the announcement of tonight's winners. Now, to assist with the presentation of awards, I'd like to welcome 43North's Board of Directors, a board that I'm proud to work on behalf of. I'm going to call up Pete Grum, Tyra Johnson, Jordan Levy, Bill Maggio, Norma Nowak. Christina Orsi. And Eric Reich. Okay. I'd also like to welcome to the stage several of 43 North's greatest supporters, including New York Power Authority Chairman John Comel, City of Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown, Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation President and CEO David Egner, M&T Bank Chairman CEO Renee Jones, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Western New York President and CEO David Anderson, Ernst & Young Buffalo Office Managing Partner Gene Gramza, and Invest Buffalo Niagara Chief Operating Officer Jenna Kavanaugh. Okay. Okay. Whew. Everyone take a deep breath. We're ready? Okay. So to remind you, tonight's 10 finalists were competing for 8 awards, 7 $500,000 awards, and 1 grand prize of $1 million. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to receive 2 briefcases tonight. No, this is real. This is really, it's happening here. The first one will contain the names of the 8 companies winning an award of at least $500,000. All 8 of these companies, which I'll announce in random order, will still be in the running for our $1 million grand prize. Then when all of these winners are on stage, I'm going to receive a second briefcase. Inside that will be the name of the company. That's our grand prize winner. That's our $1 million winner. So I think we got that? We're good?
Pretty straightforward.
And so for tonight, our custom trophies that our winners will receive, I'd like to thank the students from Bakery Victory Services who designed and built them as part of their class at the Foundry. Okay. And now I'd like to ask Sergio Gangarosa from Ernst & Young, who's got our briefcase.
James Bond.
Oh, that's real. Good move. Thank you, Sergio. Okay, so we're ready. Our first award goes to MagnusMode. Okay. Our second award goes to HiOperator. Okay, our third award goes to Natural Club. Okay. Congratulations. Okay. Our fourth award goes to Kikfurther.
All right. Oh, I guess so. I guess we're in here. Yeah. Congratulations, guys. Congratulations. Thanks so much. Congratulations. So much.
Okay. Okay. All right, ready for number 5 here. Number 5 goes to Immerse Games. Okay. All right. So for our 6th award, SparkCharge. That's all you. Okay, we have 2 more winners left. And remember, we haven't even gotten to our million yet, so for our 2 winners, I'm going to invite Buffalo's own Mayor Byron Brown to the podium.
The 7th award goes to Foresake.
Okay, we have 1 winner left. I'd like to invite New York Power Authority Chairman John Como to announce this winner. John? This is our 8th winner.
Very pleased to announce winner number 8 is LegWorks.
Okay, now for our $1 million winner. I'd like to ask Sergio to come back out with our briefcase that has the name of our $1 million winner. Thank you, Sergio. Well done.
Amazing hair, Sergio. Amazing hair.
Okay, and for that, I'd like to welcome Eric Reich to the stage, to the podium.
Thank you, everyone. This has been an incredible evening, and it's my honor to share this stage with these worthy, deserving winners. We are here tonight to announce the 5th $1 million winner of 43North because Andrew Cuomo made entrepreneurship one of the pillars of his visionary Buffalo Billion initiative. Thanks to his unwavering support, we've been able to create 43North, welcome world-class startups to Buffalo, and help them grow here. It is my honor to introduce our next guest who has worked hand in hand with Governor Cuomo to help further Buffalo's renaissance, and we're proud to have her as one of our own. Please welcome Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul to announce our $1 million winner.
Good evening, everyone. Are we having fun out there? Oh, come on, come on. This is Buffalo. Let's show some Buffalo love all over the world here. Come on. That's my hometown. With all the confidence and some would say arrogance of a true New Yorker, I want to welcome all the present and future Buffalonians, because if you've come to our city, you're not going to want to ever leave our city. And this is, yes, indeed. And I'm so proud that Governor Cuomo and I have worked hard to bring this community back, and an important part of it has been this 5-year competition, which may be a line on a globe, but it also draws a direct line to Western New York. And to all of you who've made this your home, I say welcome. I also want to say, and I know you think I'm going to go on too long because I'm a politician, you all got 2-minute pitches. I'll be less than 2 minutes, so just chill. I will also say, in case you've taken note of the fact that the New York Times once said that there's 52 places you need to visit on this planet, and one of them was Buffalo. Now, I think the other 51 are a little bit overrated, but call me biased. But I come to the conclusion that the reason they selected Buffalo was because of our weather. No, let me explain. We actually span the meteorological spectrum. If you come to Buffalo, you'll find that Buffalo is warm. You've met the people. They've welcomed you. They've made you feel that Buffalo that we are known for. They've made you want to stay. Am I right about Buffalo being a warm place? I think it is. I think it's incredibly warm. But Buffalo is also cool. I mean, this is where the hipsters want to be. We're rivaling Brooklyn now. I was just in Brooklyn yesterday. They can't wait to come to Buffalo. That's the story I'm hearing. I'm a politician. Let me get away with that one. But, you know, you can feel that vibe we have now that we never had when I was growing up in this steel town. And it's a huge sense of pride that we are named one of the best places to start a new business, a great place for entrepreneurial ecosystems, a place that college grads and millennials now want to come. Yes, indeed, Buffalo is cool. But I'll conclude by saying one more thing. Buffalo is hot. If you think about our nightlife, our restaurants, our housing market, there are so many people who want to be here. In fact, our people are hot. Have you noticed how hot our people are? But what has made Buffalo sizzling red hot is the 43North competition. And that is why, knowing that there's people from all around the world and all around this country who are discovering Buffalo for the very first time, I say welcome, and I'm so proud that through NYPA, the Buffalo Billion, and Empire State Development, Governor Cuomo and I have been able to deliver this program one more year. And so, without further ado, and keep making you wait a second longer, the 2018 $1 million winner is SparkCharge.
All right. Well, we're definitely shocked, but we're super excited as well. We have a really, really, really bold vision for Buffalo, and we'd like to thank the 43North staff for selecting us as the winner so that we can bring that to fruition. We are going to do some great things in this city. We'd like to thank everybody who traveled out here to see us. Our accountants and CPAs traveled all the way from Syracuse to see us. We had people flying all the way from Boston to see us. We want to appreciate and thank you guys for that. We are going to do great things. Trust me. Thank you.
Congratulations to SparkCharge. And I'd like to congratulate all of our winners tonight. I'd like to invite the entire community to come out tonight to join us for a celebration across the street at the Expo, at the Hearth and Press, and also down the street at Soho. I hope you all leave tonight inspired, and ready to continue to contribute to this entrepreneurial community in our town and in your own way. So thank you everybody here tonight. Thank you to the community, and good night.